Everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys a very simple and effective strategy that I use to make $8,900 in 25 minutes. I'm also going to be sharing with y'all my thought process to help all of you who may be brand new to the market and who are still struggling to read the charts, right? So let's get right into it right off the bat. Now, we have the SPY over here. We're gonna go straight to the stock that I took that trade on, and that stock was AMD. All right, so this is AMD. Right over here, we're gonna look at this 3-day span. Earlier this week, this was on the 2nd, it had earnings and the stock collapsed and it started to chop down here. All right, the trade that I took on AMD was 2 days after they reported earnings on the 4th. Now, I'm going to show you guys my thought process behind this specific trade. We're going to go onto the Discord. Now, this is the Discord. And at exactly 11:28 Central Time, I saw this structure forming on AMD. And again, if you are brand new to the markets, on this specific channel, we like to trade chart patterns, chart structures, all right? And this is a prime example of it. On the 5-minute time frame on AMD, there was this bullish pennant that was forming, and I gave a 20-minute warning to everybody in this Discord before the massive move occurred, all right? And the goal was very simple at that point. The goal was to patiently wait for this thing to really get in there, right? And during that time, again, this is the time where you want to decide which type of contract you want, whether you want to buy at the money or whether you want to buy a little bit further out of the money, right? And it also allows you to decide what expiration you want, whether you want the Friday's expiration, which was 1 day after this specific move, all right, or you want next week's expiration. So that's why I posted this one 20 minutes before the move occurred, and this is the whole game plan. Again, this is the aftermath of a bullish pennant that performs really well, all right? And as it was going, I was patiently waiting. And as soon as it broke out right over here at 11:55, I decided to buy call options on this one. So we're going to go onto the monitor tab right over here. All right. And these are the transactions that I made on Thursday the 4th on AMD. Again, I told y'all right when this thing broke out, right over here at 11:55. I started out with 65 contracts of the at the money calls at exactly $90 and $95, right? Because I did a market order, so it pretty much filled the next available. It filled at the next available price, and for 4 minutes after that first buy, I decided to buy more contracts. And then 10 minutes after the first buy, I added 53 more calls at exactly $100 each. So the total size that I had on this one was $11,100. And the goal was very simple. The goal was to hold all the way until 85.50 before taking money off the table. So this one, it performed in a very rare fashion. Again, let me show you guys examples of bullish pennants and how they perform. So we're gonna go onto Google. So if you go on Google and you type bullish pennant, this is the aftermath. It's not as aggressive of what I'm showing you guys with AMD, but this is it. If you go on Google, you will see multiple examples of it. It's a very common structure, and it behaves really well and can be really lucrative when you get in at the right time, and also when you get out at the right time. All right, so let's go back onto ThinkorSwim. Now, this one, I made a mistake, and let me show you why. All right, I made a big mistake, and and we are gonna learn from it. So I got it at the right time, which is right over here, right there. All right, and as it was climbing slowly, I was adding. What I didn't pay attention to was I didn't look at the top left over here. This is the news section. As soon as this thing went up, and the alert that I have at the top at like $85 or $85.50, when those alerts started to ring, in my mind, in my mind again, I was just focused on following the game plan and selling and taking my money off the table. My goal was to make between 80% and 100% on my money, and that's what I did. I sold at 12.19, first at 150, and the next sets of contracts, like I sold the first 60 at an average price of 151, and I sold the remaining contracts at an average price of 188. I didn't get a good feel because the spread was getting really big. Now this is my mistake right here. Now when I sold, I didn't look at the reason why this thing started spiking to begin with. This is when patience comes in. All right, in my mind, I didn't have to wait a very long time like I typically do in order to make 80% to 100% of my money. But if I just looked at that news, I would have made a lot more in like within an hour, rather than taking the 80%, the 85% gain and just walking away from the trade. So this is how it ended up performing. It went all the way up to $91. The reason why it started running so hard was because there was news about them getting help from Microsoft, getting some type of financing help from Microsoft, some partnership news, some bullish news that occurred, and the calls just started to explode. So that is the structure. That is the main message that I wanted to teach you guys today. I'm gonna show you guys how everybody did. So this right here, let's see here. This was on Thursday. Yeah, so these are my P&Ls, 8.9k. All right, and if you go down, somebody else was able to make $1,500 on those calls. If you go down a little bit more, somebody got, again, this is the reason why I put out the warning 20 minutes ahead of time before the big move happens. All right, that way people can decide what contract they want. This person didn't get the at the money contracts. They got something that was a little bit further out of the money in order to make a bigger percentage on the move. Again, in regards to options, the further out of the money you are, the bigger your risk, but at the same time, the bigger your reward. All right, now let's keep scrolling. Somebody else was able to make some money on AMD, making 262% on their contract. This person held a little longer than I did, and ended up making a bigger percentage gain on that specific trade. So that is pretty much the recap on AMD, and that is the end of the video. Again, do not forget to annihilate the like button for the YouTube algorithm. As always, helps the channel a lot and allows more people to get this knowledge as well. Also, if you are new to the channel and you haven't done so already, definitely click on subscribe and click on the notification bell along with all notifications. That way you don't miss out on future uploads. If you'd like to be part of a private Discord community, you can find that as the first link in the description of the video below. If you haven't followed me on social media yet, you can find me at Paul Nguma and at Patternology Lab on Instagram and on Twitter. And lastly, if all of this is brand new to you, if you're interested in getting started in the stock market, there are some basic step-by-step directions in the description of the video below. Step 1 to step 3. It only takes about 10 to 15 minutes for you to have all the tools you need to start trading immediately. You can also get some free stocks after signing up with Webull using the third link in the description of the video below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Nguma with Patternology Lab, where we trade patterns only. And I will see all of you in the next video.